Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some body parts. Okay, in today's character, 面. You can see simplified. We only have one version, but in traditional Chinese, there are two versions of 面. And simplified didn't bother to differentiate between the two. There are two very different things. One is flour, flour as a cooking ingredient to us made from wheat, which is this mian. This actually have the wheat symbol next to the face symbol versus the face. Okay, so I don't know why there is such a jump in between. Um, I'm guessing. Okay, so wheat. Um, Chinese consume wheat mostly in the noodle form, right? And also we have like a biang, type of Chinese pamphlet, pancake type of thing. So wheat probably, um, or the flour, the wheat product kind of goes through pretty manual food processing um, traditional order, like through centuries, people figure out how to better perfect their wheat processing so that it's more delicious to eat. And so it's somewhat related to face, probably because a well kneaded dough that before you turn it into other shapes and forms, like into noodles or a pancake shape, or 饺子, they're all made from the same source material. That the dough gotta have almost like a human face sense of the surface smoothness or texture, very similar to human face. That's why I guess there is such a connection between the flour product versus human face. So traditional Chinese keep it separated to show you which one is about human face, which one does human face plus the wheat, the food source, to show you it's actually the flour. Okay, human face. This 2,000 years ago's dictionary show this expression versus contemporary Chinese as a little bit more handwriting friendly, simplified into this. But the traditional one, like a way traditional 2,000 years ago, script Chinese format is more understandable because it's more realistic in terms of even if it's a language abstraction of reality, it still shows it's almost like a thinking process before it get abstracted and change its format to fit your handwriting efficiency. Okay, so this is made of, here is the nose bridge. So this almost like Mercedes-Benz, a logo, right? This triangle shape almost. That's the nose bridge. It's kind of like a triangle shape, I guess. Uh, and then the two horizontal lines underneath is the nostrils, right under the nose bridge. And then a big circle all around from top right. You can almost see how it's written from top right and draw a big circle all around it. And I guess that requires a high dexterity and a control of spatial sense that when you draw this, wait, okay, I guess it's people who draw this one first and then they fit in the nose bridge and nostrils in there. Because I was thinking the reverse. You write inside first and then you draw touching all the edge points in there. That's harder, right? So if I would draw it, I would draw the circle first and then inside. Okay, anyways, that is an abstraction of human face. Why? Because nose bridge and the two nostrils there is the center of a face. It's almost like we're drawing a circle. We have the center of a circle, which kind of pin down the location of the circle, and then we have the peripheral, which is the edge, the boundary of the circle. Just two is enough to define how a circle would look like, either its location or its size, right? So Chinese just like that. We have the edge and have the center, and that's defined That's simplification of the most essential things to define the whole face. And then the same circle, the peripheral, the edge, was repeated again, kind of zoom up and borderline it again. This second one is not realistic rendering. Instead, it is the indicator to retrace the human edge, the face of the edge, to show you it's the silhouette or the boundary or the surface that we're talking about, because otherwise it's the whole head, right? It's because people cannot really talk, like there is no like footnote all the time. Just rely on the message captured in this 2D frame. People without talking, just looking at it, can best guess what that is representing. So when we have the center of face and the edge of face, like these two elements to capture, and then we draw the circle here again in a bigger way, and that shows you this surface, this peripheral is what we're talking about here. So the second one becomes an abstract, becomes an indicator to point your attention to the surface of things. So this surface, because it came from the human center, right? So that's our face. It's not somebody else's face. Okay. Expressions. 面目全非, face, eye, totally not. Okay. It's a Chinese way. When I translate word by word into English, it's totally doesn't make sense, right? Face, eye, total not. So what does that mean? It means completely different face or eyes. Meaning somebody, 面目全非, somebody's face and the eyes. If you look at that person, like how we identify that person is by the face ID, how we identify them, right? Basically showing the head portion, because there we have the eyes and the face, the whole face. Basically with these two visual cues, then you can kind of identify that's somebody's face. That's somebody, right? Body part is like, we're not really built to recognize another person's body parts. Like you can tell someone's hand from another person's hand. It's harder, right? You need a computer to facilitate that. But humans, we can automatically compute if that's face recognition is easier for us. So 面目全非 in this expression means not only can be applied to somebody have grown out of their original face, that the eyes and the face are completely different from what you remember them to be. But most often, it's not used on the person because over time people change, but probably not change that dramatically, and probably won't in your lifetime. Don't see somebody for too long a time that when you see them again, it's like their face and eyes totally different. Probably that's not the case in ancient times, I guess. In today, it's probably likely. But this is more about a location, a place. So in this case, the face and eye, almost like the vibe of the city, the structures in the city, the landscape, the cityscape, or whatever scape you're in, that environment, that's total change, unrecognizable. And 面目全非, especially in the past 40 years in China, you can use it almost everywhere because towns changed, transformed into many cities, villages changed. So the whole China land went through this transformation process. And easily, if you were born into some place and you go away and return, you won't recognize your hometown. Like me, I won't recognize my hometown. It's completely different buildings, but there are some landmarks there, still stay there. But I would say that's a pretty common. So this is most likely used on landscape. 面面俱到, side or face or this surface and that surface all delivered. So in that case, 全 and 俱, they're kind of similar. It means complete, count everything in. This delivered means you're trying to accomplish something and you take into consideration of everything so that it's very defensible. There's nothing you you overlooked. So the end result is perfection, like 面面俱到. It's almost like a great mastermind of some complicated event or try to accomplish something, then all possible factors are considered. And no matter how events unfold, it's within the budget or within the planning. So 面面俱到 is a good word for somebody. 兰州拉面, Orchid State. I translated Orchid State, but it's a city name, kind of en route of Silk Road. So it's a forefront of kind of China's ancient culture's frontier city that the agriculture society interface with more like a desert or different landscape, people from elsewhere to the world. So it's either go out or into China. So it's a culture blending spot, and it's a multi ethnicity. So things get really interesting. I wish I could visit that place one day. So this is basically pinned down. Imagine the Chinese map. It's in the almost like close to the heart, I would say. Probably not the heart, but it's further west to the heart. So it's very inner place to China. And it's at the same time the kind of peripheral as well, even if it's not to the border that distance, but still it's not at the center, but it's the frontier. La mian, pulled noodles. So over there, people develop this craftsmanship of noodle making that instead of like a spaghetti making nowadays, we have machines. I don't exactly know how to make spaghetti, but this noodle from that region is famous for it's drawn out. So it's a dough, and then people shake the dough to elongate and then fold and then do that again until this one big piece of dough get into I don't know, hundreds and thousands of thinner strands of noodles. And because they can continue like that without being breaking, without breaks, that means the noodles are extra long and it's very chewy. So that's the preferred taste from that noodle style. Okay, 炒面 is 抽面. Okay, this is Cantonese pronunciation, and I guess this is one of the major representative Chinese cuisine, well known in the English world. As you can see, these are they got their English name already, which is Cantonese pronunciation, and this is a Chinese way. And this 炒 means stir fried noodle, and 面包 flour. In this case, this mian is this flour. Okay, I mean this flour. It's not the flour. It's not the blooming flower. It's the edible flour. Okay, the flour bong is a Chinese translation of bread. So 面包 end up like become a cornerstone of breakfast in China in some places. But the original, like a Chinese way, domestic way to flour process and make it into delicious glucose rich, nutritional rich, give you calories, right? And support your, especially agriculture labor. That was still the dominant breakfast format in Chinese. Okay, so there we go. 面 starts from face, but then get to our food. Thank you for your time. See you another day.